What's up guys, Motocross action is here, and in this video we're testing a 2000 Kawasaki KX500 two-stroke. I'm super excited to ride it. Twisted Development built this. It's actually owned by the owner of Twisted Development, Jamie Ellis. Now we've ridden lots of Twisted Development bikes, as you guys have probably seen on our YouTube channel and by reading the magazine. We've tested Super Minis, 125s, 252 strokes, 254 strokes, 300 big bore kits, 450s, all kinds of things from Jamie Ellis. Jamie and the Twisted Development crew, they're close friends to the MXDN crew. He actually writes an article in the magazine every month. So I'm super excited to see what Jamie can do now that he's built up 2000. This isn't 2000 anything else. This is year 2000, after 99, before 2001. So way back, 21 years ago. I'm excited to ride this KX500 and see what Jamie did to it and how it runs on the track. Every time production halts on a two-stroke model, it instantly becomes a hot commodity. Although Kawasaki held out longer than the rest of the manufacturers when it comes to producing a 500 two-stroke, this bike only lasted on the Kawasaki assembly line until 2004. Truthfully, although this is a 2000 model year dirt bike, this is really a 1994 spec Kawasaki KX500 because that's when Kawasaki made its final updates to the now out of commission KX500 two-stroke. Also, I want to point out that this test on the KX500 project bike comes in a mini series that MXA is doing, where we test this KX500, another CR500 project bike from Honda and from the same builder, Nathan Alexander, in two separate videos, and soon we'll put them head to head for a two-stroke shootout. And we have a bonus video comparing this KX500 to a modern day KX450 four-stroke. So diving into this bike, when Nathan first got his hands on the KX500, it was in bad shape. Not only is the KX500 over 20 years old, but it wasn't a complete bike when he first got into it. It was in boxes. An old project bike is harder to get back together than a 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle without the picture on it to guide you. Long story short, it took a few months to assemble this KX500, but Nathan would say that it was worth it. As you can tell by the beautiful SKDA graphics and the American flag seat cover, this KX500 was designed to be a replica of Jeff Emig's 1996 Motocross of Nations machine. Plus, the frame and swing arm were anodized black with all black rims, black hubs, as well as coated brake calipers front and rear. As for the hard parts, Nathan decided to use 2002 KX250 two-stroke forks that were valved and sprung for the 500 by factory connection, and he used KX250 triple clamps to match it. The wheels were standard with updated D.I.D rims and stronger spokes. The front brake was used with a standard caliper and a 2020 CRF 250 master cylinder. The entire engine was gone through with the help of Twisted Development, and the cylinder and head were cleaned up on the KX500 as well. Nathan also used an FMF pipe and silencer, V-force reeds. The transmission was treated with Sano metal rim finishes. It came with Pro pegs, and it also came with electron carburetor, which Nathan assured us was extremely easy to use, and we could tell because the jetting was spot on. Although the KX500 has a wild looking banana seat that dips deep into the chassis and makes you feel like you're riding on a couch, the suspension actually held up super well for us on the track, and it wasn't as soft as most KX500s we've ridden recently. As expected, the engine was extremely potent. It also revved through its RPM range quicker than we expected as well, making the shift points closer together than we thought they would be. After some time on the bike, we learned how to ride it better, and the answer with the 500 is always to lug the engine more than you'd expect. However, it really felt like it needed to be shifted more than KX500s usually do. Typically, we can lug third gear around the corners easily on a 500, but this bike needed to be dropped into second gear in some of the tighter corners at Glen Helen. On the track, we were actually able to be fairly aggressive on the KX500 two-stroke because the forks held up pretty well and the factor connection valved these bikes a little bit stiffer than most 500s that we've ridden in the past, but the KX500 is still tall and it's still really top heavy, which makes it less than ideal for handling. With that much weight and just with where the weight is positioned on this bike, as well as an ultra strong 59 horsepower engine, the KX500 is gnarly to hold on to. Our testers had to be precise with body positioning just to navigate it around the track that got rougher throughout the day at Glen Helen as we were riding it. It took everything we had to hold on to this bike coming out of corners, and every test rider experienced some form of arm pump. Some of that stemmed from the fact that 20-year-old 500 two-strokes vibrate much more than modern day bikes, also just because of the sheer weight and speed that this bike has. It was fast and it was a handful to ride, but it takes a superhuman to really ride this bike to its full potential. In the end, the Nathan Alexander built Kawasaki KX500 two-stroke offered an experience that our lucky test riders won't soon forget. Plus, like I mentioned at the top of this video, we got to compare this bike back to back with a modern day KX450 four-stroke and a project CR500 two-stroke Honda that Nathan Alexander built at the same exact time. So keep an eye out on our channel for both of those videos. Also, keep an eye out for our KX500 versus CR500 project bike shootout as well. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. As always, if you like this one, let us know in the comments. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell button to get notified whenever we release a new video. Check out motocrossactionmag.com for more news, bike tests, race results, and stuff like that. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.